our guest speaker, Joshi ji. Please come, sir. Give him a big.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So we just met, Joshi ji just about a week ago here in the building. He came here, he was looking at few things, and then he said, Joshi ji, what do you do? We are here for like 20, 30 years in Bay Area. We have stars like them right next to us, and we don't see them. So it was very coincidental, but immediately we said, we need to take advantage of that and then, bring him here so that way our family members can benefit from it, be it Silicon Andhra, Rotary Club of Silicon Andhra. Whatnot. Thank you very much for accepting our request and then coming and then, helping us.
Thank you, sir. It's a great honor for me because it's a great place. Actually, we have seen this building while driving on the freeway many times. What's inside? So I just wanted to explore this place. And I just came across this beautiful place and a lot of wonderful people here working for a great cause. And then I was just wondering when I was sitting there, Rotary Club has been a big fascination for me from my childhood, but somehow or other, it stayed away from my life for a long time until I came here and then became a permanent member. So if you look at Rotary Club, Rotary International and yoga, what do you think common things? Right? So it's like Rotary. If you look at the logo of the Rotary or the motto of the Rotary, it's called Rotary connects the world.
Connects the world, yeah.
And yoga also connects the world. Yoga connects the inner world with the outer world. That's truly yoga is about. A lot of times we feel like yoga is all about the stretching that we do at the studios, but we all from India, that inheritance is there already. So I would just like to touch upon. I know that everybody remembers, everybody knows everything what I'm going to talk about, but still we need a reminder service. So I'm going to touch upon basic things about what yoga is and what are the different aspects of yoga and how it could really help us to become the best version of ourselves. And especially the Silicon Valley, because Silicon Valley is the heart of everything. Like the whole world looks forward for bringing new technology. So obviously we have to be the best. There's no alternative to that. So fortunately, there are a lot of concepts that we can talk about. What we talk about spirituality or the yoga technique, and then the modern technology, how they are coming together in this time. So we can learn about it and we can appreciate it and practice it in our own maybe 10, 15 minutes. Because yoga is a lifestyle. The basic definition of yoga is all about adding something. Like when you math, like you have the addition and subtraction. So subtraction is about yoga. Like something that's not there in my life. If there is no wealth in my life, it's a yoga of the dhan or the wealth. So I have to do something to add that wealth into my life. That's yoga. If there is no happiness in my life, there is a yoga of happiness. So I have to add that sukh or happiness into my life. That's yoga again. So likewise, if you think about anything and everything that is missing in our life, but if you want to add on something and add that into life, that is called yoga. Simple definition, adding something. But now, in true sense, if you look at the yoga, also helps us to add, as I said, the inner world to the outer world, connection, adding my body to the mind, my breath to the mind, my life to my goal. So those are all important aspects of our life, isn't it? And particularly at this point of time, when we're just in the beginning of new decade and a new year, it makes a lot of sense for us to think about something that great we want to do together. Because of some of the promises that we talked about, some of the new projects we are sharing, ideas. It's a great moment. And particularly at this time also, if you look at the spirituality point of view, the Mother Earth breathes for 6 months, from Makar Sankranti to Vishu Sankranti. So this is a time of really enhancing our spiritual journey. Anything that you do, you'll get multiple benefits of this one, double the benefit at least. Like if you do some pranayama meditations in the morning or do running or do anything physically. So you also create more energy for the 6 months and then store that in your spiritual bank or emotional bank. Right? So for all these things, we need to have a goal in our life. Because without having a goal, you don't know when you reach there. Isn't it? So our goal is like a path. So for example, if you want to have a total health, that could be a goal. And total health means physical health, mental health, emotional health, social health, and spiritual health. Because it's not the absence of the disease. That's the definition of WHO. World Health Organization defined health as a holistic concept. Physical health, mental health, emotional health, social health, and spiritual health. Because without the package, say for example, I'll just give a simple example. Somebody wants to have a resolution of just like losing weight. So losing weight may not be a good goal just by losing weight, because sometimes you might lose weight because of some unknown disease. You don't want to have that, right? You lose 20, 30 pounds in 1 week. You become worried about that. You go to the doctor and find out what's happening. Maybe there is hyperthyroid problem or there is some unknown disease. You don't want that. So we have to have a smart packaging. If you have total health and slim, something positive that mind can understand, that's a good goal. So you have a smart packaging of the goal. So there are different ways that we can be more positive towards the goal. A lot of times we want to say that I don't want that, right? So don't want that is a negative connotation for the mind. So there is a particular protocol of setting up a goal. So in summary, like there is more details about that. In summary, if I have a simple goal like I want to be totally healthy, I want to be truly happy in my life, and I want to achieve something short term, like if you want to achieve something like getting a degree or doing some project finish or whatever that you have undertaken for this year, 3 to 6 months, 1 year. So at least these two first components should be fixed. I'm totally healthy and truly happy. And truly happy means unconditionally happy, not with something, not without with somebody, like without things or beings, or without relations and possessions. If I can bring happiness to myself, then I'm really a good success in my own life, isn't it? So happiness again comes from within. We know that, but sometimes in the rat race we forget about that. We want to chase happiness in our buildings, in money, in bank balance, in building new cars, in buying new cars, new homes, all the things. But that is a powerful concept of the human mind. Human mind has been designed to keep us busy in this world. Otherwise, all our spiritual beings will go up right away. We don't have any interest in living in this world. So mind creates a conditioning that you have to find happiness in everything that you see around, not within. That's the hide and seek game that you're playing. But once you really understand this rule of the yoga concept or Vedantic concept, you'll enjoy life more because you have to play the game of life. So if you know the rules of the game, then you'll play it well and you'll become more happy. So life has got a lot of rules, and yoga Vedanta gives us a lot of secret clues to discover those rules in life. One of the concepts that we always talk about is mantra, yantra, and tantra, right? So let me just give a simple definition of that, because this is the one that always use, and mantra has been adapted in the English word right now. You know what's a mantra of success? They always say. So if you look at the mantra, mantra comes from a Sanskrit word called man and tra. So man is the mind and tra is the protection. So something that protects the mind. Can you just think about, like, if you are running in a dark in a path and then somebody is stalking you or something, there is a danger, right? Like a snake or a tiger or something. Then what happens? Our mind races to a lot of thoughts. So in a way, you can think that it's like a rotation per minute of a disk is very high. So the speed of the mind is very high during a time we are stressed out, we are panicked, we are afraid. If there is an emotional imbalance, then the speed of the mind is disturbed. So when the speed of the mind is not controlled, what happens? We become lunatic, like we lose the mental balance. And it happens constantly, particularly in a stressful life like this, what we have been sailing through. If you don't know the art of slowing down the mind, it only lasts for a few years. It doesn't last longer because the mind has got some components. It also governs just like other tools and techniques, other instruments. So mantra is designed to protect the mind. Say, for example, if you're running in a dark path, if you chant something, you incant something like Om Namah Shivaya or I'm healthy, I'm happy, or even gibberish, it doesn't matter, whatever you chant. So when you stop into some words or from phrases, it slows down the speed of the mind. It's just like when you're running high speed, you have to apply the brake to control the speed. Similarly, to control the speed of the mind, you have to apply a mantra. Yantra is a tool that is given to manifest the power of mantra. And tantra is the procedure of doing something, like step-by-step process. Like if you do Surya Namaskara, there is a procedure for doing it, step 1, step 2, 10 steps, or 12 steps. So how you go from point A to point B, that you follow a tantra. In the Silicon Valley language, mantra is the software, yantra is the hardware, and tantra is the technology that puts the software and hardware together, give an application so you can enjoy the fruit of it. Right? In a little deeper context, say for example, if you have a goal, I want to be totally healthy, I want to be truly happy, and I want to make $1 million in 2 years of time. So that's the goal. So that goal is mantra. And your body itself is a yantra, because this is a cosmic vehicle. This body is used as a vehicle for the soul to move from one time to another time, from one space to another space, from one experience to another experience, like wakeful experience, dream experience, deep sleep experience. So all the expenses will sail throughout the day. So this is a vehicle, this is a yantra. And the yoga is the tantra, or yoga is the technology to push the software into the hardware, or install the software into the hardware. One of the precise tool of yoga, because yoga also has got a lot of different aspects of it. Anybody who has had a Ashtanga yoga is a technique, is a concept by Saint Patanjali. Saint Patanjali doctor and yoga are being packaged together. In fact, Lord Shiva is considered the main person who gives the yoga to his consort Parvati. Lord Krishna is also considered yoga. So, but Saint Patanjali talked about 8 limbs of yoga. It's called Ashtanga yoga. Ashta Anga means 8 limbs of yoga or 8 branches of yoga. The first one is yama, the second one is niyama, then third one is asana, fourth one is pranayama, then pratyahara, then dharana, dhyana, and samadhi. So if you look at the yamas and niyamas, these are basically simple rules how to be a good citizen in the world, how to be a good person in your life. There are 10 rules on each category. Then asana is the physical practice that you practice to make your body stronger. And pranayama is a technique of controlling the prana or the life force. I'll talk more about prana in a bit. Then pratyahara is the technique of withdrawing from the objective Maya world to the inner world. Like anything that you see in this entire universe is an object. Like buildings, stars, including our body, the universe, everything is object, everything transitory. They don't last longer all the time. They always decay one time, over a period of time, isn't it? So, how to withdraw our sense organs from all the objective worlds and bring it inside so that the journey starts inward? That technique is pratyahara. And particularly the yoga nidra technique that we've been learning today or experiencing today is a specific aspect of pratyahara technique which helps us to withdraw from the outer world and go inside. Then comes the dharana, or the focus of the mind. The mind is huge, right? The mind is very powerful. We don't even use more than 5 to 7% of the mind power. So in order to execute the power of mind, we need to focus on the mind. So that is useful by producing certain techniques like Tarata techniques. So there are certain individual techniques that yoga talks about, how to increase the focus of the mind, which is one of the most important assets in this modern time right now. Not only for the children, but for all of us, because there is a special skill for the mind we are never taught in the school. And yoga schools talks about that, Vedanta schools talks about that, meditation talks about that. But there's a precise way of harnessing the power of the mind. The focus is one of them. It's called dharana. So once you go to that, there's the 7th rung of the Ashtanga yoga called dharana, of the meditation. Then you contemplate. So focus of the mind is dharana, and dhyana is not focusing the mind. Defocusing the mind and then looking at something else. Like you focus on the beauty, or focus on you meditate on the beauty of the personality, or beauty of the sky, or something expansive consciousness. There are different aspects, dhyana. And finally go to the samadhi state or the trance state. So these are the 8 limbs of yoga. Now if you look at the yoga, yoga also talks about there are 5 different personalities that we have. They're not only one. Like if you think about what all we have right now. We have a physical body. What else we have? We have emotions. What else? We have thoughts. We have intelligence. We have bliss. Right? So there are so many aspects inside us. In fact, every day we play different roles also. When you go to office, there is a different role. When you come home, on your own, you different role. You play. In your sleep time, you play a different role. In your dream state, you play a different role. All different kinds of things. It's a very dynamic concept. So yogis have found that there is a physical body that we call Annamaya Kosha. The physical body is made up of the food that we eat. But there is a processed body that has got all the potential to be stressful, to bring more anxiety, create more panic, more fear, disease, sickness. Everything happens in the physical realm. And 99% of the time that we all execute from the body consciousness. Within the physical body, there is an energetic body. Right? If I have to move my hand, I'm physically moving my hand, but without that energy inside, I cannot move. Like if I have a fever or if I have depression, I don't have any motivation. I don't have any energy to lift my hand. So that energy comes from inside. And every cell in our body, there are 70 trillions of cells in our body, which are constantly working like chemical factories to create this adenosine triphosphate and carbon dioxide and all these different things are happening unknowingly, transparently to us. So those are creating energy every moment of our life. Without that energy, that we can't do. By the way, 80% of the energy that the body creates, the brain consumes it. Because of, and think about like whenever we are stressed out, the brain constantly depletes all the energy that we create. Right? So if you're in a stressful condition, most of the time, by the time the evening comes, you're so tired, so exhausted, right? Because the brain has depleted all the energy without knowing. It's like an individual bleeding. You don't know even that bleeding is happening, right? So that's very important to understand how the energetic body works. Then there's a third component in our body called mind, the thoughts. We all are swimming in our ocean of thoughts. Everybody has got 50, 60,000 thoughts interacting every day. The thoughts are very important aspects of our life. So that's controlled by the mind body. Now, intelligence is another component. Have you thought about what is the difference between mind and intelligence? And even the mind and intelligence also, there are 16 different categories inside. And each one is very unique of its nature. And yoga talks about it. So intelligence is something that helps you to take a decision. Mind is something that creates a feeling inside us. For example, in the night, when I come home from a hard work day, my mind will tell me, hey, it's too tiring, go to sleep. Right? That's the mind's job, to create a feeling and then give a suggestion, what I would like to do. But the intelligence will tell me, like, hey, there is a project deadline tomorrow. If you don't find the tax, you'll pay $700 more. So that's the intelligence. Intelligence will look into different conditions and then gives the decision. Right? Driving on the left side or right side depends on which country you're driving. Right? So there are so many factors that the intelligence has to take into consideration to give you a subjective decision. So that's intelligence. Mana is the mind and buddhi is the intelligence. Then there is an ananda aspect of it. Because definitely there must be some amount of pleasure or happiness to live life. Every day, if you don't have that, you won't even feel like getting up. So there is a bliss factor, there is a happy body inside. There's a spiritual body within. So there's a physical body. Within the physical body, there is an energetic body called pranamaya kosha. Then there is a manomaya kosha, the seat of mind. There is a vijnanamaya kosha, the seat of intelligence. And there is an anandamaya kosha, the seat of happiness. And most of the time, as I talk, we remain in the physical consciousness, but the annamaya kosha, 99% of the time. And that is where all the stress, worries, anxiety, and fear, everything happens. But yoga gives us a pathway to go inward from the annamaya kosha to the anandamaya kosha. From the gross body existence, you have to find a secret path to go into the sacred, blissful state, anandamaya kosha. And that's the goal. Right now, our physical address is anandamaya kosha. Slowly, over a period of time, as you practice more and more yoga and meditation, your address will change. You'll be a happy being, right? And that is what yoga talks about. Yoga gives you technology, how to be like a yogi, how to be calm, present all the time, mindfully. Then you'll enjoy life. Then there is no stall, there is no stress, no worries. You don't have to confine yourself with three-dimensional limitations. There is enough freedom there. There's a lot of opportunities in the Anandamaya kosha. And that is what the goal of life is. Isn't it? To be happy, constantly happy. Not just a little bit happy today and forget about tomorrow. We want happiness today, tomorrow, all the time. We just little bit happiness, we want to be happy all the time. Too much of happiness, eternal happiness, perpetual happiness. That's what the goal of yoga is. Right? So in order to do that, we have to use specific aspects of the yoga, particularly in the knowledge economy when we are so tired and don't have time. Time is the biggest or the scariest resource that we all have. So what is the most practical time that we can do is yoga nidra. Yoga nidra is a very precise technique, as I talked about the pratyahara technique. So the yama, niyama, asana, and pranayama is called the bahirang yoga, the external yoga, which makes your body, your mentalistic life very successful and good. And then the other aspect, dharana, dhyana, and samadhi, are spiritual then, more internal to antarang yoga. So in between these two, bahirang and antarang yoga, the transition happens in yoga nidra. If you look at our mind, the mind operates in 4 different stages. The one is a wakeful state of mind, where you are interacting with the objective world, with your sense organs, your eyes, your nose, your touch, hearing, and smelling. So those are the kind of things that we interact with the objective world. Multimedia experience is happening all the time. And there is a state that comes when you have a dream state. When you create an alternate world, the same mind creates an alternate world. As a dreamer, everything is possible. Just like when you're dreaming, you won't see whether you're wakeful state or dream state. And in fact, people say that right now, you may be in a dream state. You cannot prove that you're in an awake state right now. You may be in a dream state having this experience right now. There's a lot of things going on about that. So there's a dream state is equally important, equally powerful for the mind. There's no distinction. For a dreamer, it's exactly the same as a waker. That's the second state. The third is a deep sleep state. In the deep sleep state, you don't even remember anything. You don't remember your name, you don't remember your gender, you don't remember your ethnicity, no address, no bank balance, nothing. It's totally clean slate, right? So this is three stages that we all know. But there is a fourth state, it's called Tuya state, where none of this is existing, and that is the pure state of our being. That state of mind goes through these three states to experience life. And that state of mind can be attained more and more by going to a state of yoga nidra. In fact, in the yoga tradition, we are told that Lord Vishnu, the Palankarta, who is the operator of this entire universe, he is in a constant perpetual state of yoga nidra. So basically, we are all part and participants of his dream. So right now, in the yoga nidra of Lord Vishnu. So whatever he dreams, we are just doing that. So if you learn how to make yoga nidra as one of the basic things that you can do, you will definitely do much more progress in your personal life and professional life. It's the most easiest thing to do. But it's not so easy because it's a conscious relaxation technique. It's a yoga nidra. It's a state of mind where you are neither asleep nor fully awake. It's the brink of that. Like the ghadi sandhi, that transition. That is very important. Because if you look at everything, during the transition time, only a lot of things happen. Like I was trained in the geology. So if you look at the geological aspect, there is a plate tectonics concept. Like there is a continental plate, there are oceanic plates. When the plates are colliding, most of the time, inside the continental plate or oceanic plate, the disturbance doesn't happen. But whenever they are merging together, a lot of seismic activity happens, a lot of volcanic activity happens. So similarly, during the transition time, a lot of changes happen. So when you go to the alpha state of consciousness, then your mind becomes very receptive. So then you take a sankalpa or a desire or a goal, that goal gets planted, right? So if you look at our mind, it's also distributed. Our mind is where? Where is our mind? Where is the mind? What is the physical address of the mind? Anybody can guess? In the body? Anybody else? Well, so liquid, the basic ingredient of the mind is thought. Like, so wherever you think, the mind goes there. Now you're sitting here, the mind is here. The moment you close your eyes, you can think about your house, the mind immediately rushes to the house. If you think about India, the mind will go to India. If you think about moon, the mind will go to moon. If you think about Pacific Ocean, the mind will go there. If you think about the entire universe, the mind will be thinking about the entire universe. That means the universe also becomes part of the mind. Now tell me which one is more powerful, the mind or the universe? My mind. It can be anywhere and everywhere. It can think about a mustard seed and you can think about the big mountains just like that. You can think about the sun immediately, instantaneously. And the sun itself takes about 8 minutes to send its rays to the planet. Right? So mind is really a powerful concept. Now, look at the mind. We all started our life with one tiny cell, isn't it? One cell in our mother's womb, one sperm, one ovum that mix together to make a zygote, and then one cell becomes 2, 2 becomes 4, 4 becomes 8, and over a period of 9 months' time, there are trillions of cells, and then we came out. And now in our body, about 70 to 100 trillions of cells are there. So if you think about our life starting with one tiny cell, that means one cell itself has got the potential to create a human life. In the modern technology, if you think about the cloning, if I take one strand of your hair from your head, I could probably clone and then make millions of you. Each one of us can be millions of things can be cloned with just a strand of hair, because every cell has this genetic code. Every cell has got a unique signature of who am I. Isn't it? That means every cell in my body is very powerful to make another life. Isn't it? If every one of the cells becomes cancerous, if I don't know about that, if I don't know anything about that, and the whole body becomes cancerous and we die. So thinking about every cell being having its own mind. Now think about a goal that you've taken. I want to be totally healthy. I want to be truly happy, and I want to be, manifesting something. Then how do you communicate that goal to every cell? Because as a CEO or as a organizing president of the organization, if you have a goal, just like we talked about, one of the best way to execute that goal is to communicate that goal to every employee. Unless they know about that, they will not execute that, isn't it? So like our body is made up of 70 trillions of cells. That means you are the CEO of company you.com, where there are 70 trillions of employees working and reporting for you. If you have a goal in 2020, I want to be healthy, I want to be happy, and I want to manifest $2 million in 2 years of time, how do you communicate that goal to every cell, every system in your body? And that is where the technology comes. I talked about the software, hardware, and the technology. So Yoga Nidra is a very precise technique of communicating that goal to every cell in our body. And look at every cell also is going through transformation, because in the night that you sleep, Probably millions of cells have died and new cells are getting created. I often give this example to my clients when they come for life coaching. Think about like if you do a project like Rotary International gave you $2 million to go to a remote part of Odisha. I'm from Odisha, and then do a non-profit organization like informal education project. And you have enough time, enough money, enough resources for lasting 10 years, right? So within 10 years, you could execute the whole project so nicely, but only 90% of the population got educated. And you could not reach out to the 10% remaining because your fund depleted, the project got wind up, and then we came. Right? So after 15, 20 years, you have an opportunity to go back again to that same place and you want to evaluate what happened, what is the impact of my project, right? You saw beautiful buildings, roads, networks, hospitals, everything is very good. People are really, the per capita income is very high, the GDP is very good. But those 10% of the people that you left out, they become the gundas, they become the mafias, they become the terrorists, they become the antisocial beings in the community because nobody is there to educate them, right? So what is the context I'm building? So for example, if you have a goal and then you're in the business of communicating the goal to your body, to your mind, to your system, that what happens? The new cells are coming up every day. So that brings a challenge of constant remembrance. So you have to be constantly remembering about the goal. But how do you remember constantly about your goal? That is what the technology that people use who are God-realized souls. I've interviewed a lot of people. So they say like they have trained their mind in such a way that every single breath they think about the object of worship. Like if they worship anything or any object, every breath they talk about them. And on an average, say for example, we breathe about 15 counts per minute. So that means 21,600 times we breathe every day. Right? So they have trained their mind in such a way that most of the time they think about what they want in life. That is called the focus. That is called the mindfulness. Like how you become present in the moment, how you pay attention to what's happening, how you become accepting to things happening, how you become more compassionate to yourself and others, and how you become curious to make things the best way possible. So if you apply these principles of mindfulness and consciously being present, then the improvement happens right away. Because if you look at those, and this is so much tallying with the concept of the yoga, because yoga talks about there is a concept of prakriti or the matter, and there is a concept of purusha or the consciousness. So there is a matter and energy that is in the objective world, and there is a purusha or the consciousness in the subjective world. So when the objective world and subjective world merge together, that gives rise to something we call prana or the life force. So there is a matter and energy, there is consciousness. This body is called Shava, which doesn't have any power, but Shiva is the consciousness giver. So unless the Shava and Shiva merge together, there is no power, isn't it? So whenever you invest consciousness into anything that you do, the experience becomes more profound, more intimate. Like for example, if you're talking to your husband and wife or you in your family, if somebody is stressed out totally, that person doesn't belong to that moment, the mind is somewhere else, the body is somewhere else, right? The discussion doesn't become intimate. You know, monosyllables, yes, no, sometimes please don't talk to me, I need my time, right? It happens. So similarly, if you are doing anything, if you don't become heart and soul into that awareness becomes, that experience becomes suboptimal. So similarly, when you breathe consciously, you get more prana. When you eat consciously, you get more nutrients to the body. It has been proven, right? When you sleep consciously, you get more prana also. So that sleep consciousness is called yoga. So when you learn how to consciously relax for 15, 20 minutes, the enhancement of the prana happens much more. And Thomas Alva Edison used to practice this. Unknowingly, he won't be calling it yoga, I'm sure, but he was taking 17 power naps in a day. And every time he takes a nap, the light bulb glows in his mind and he invents something new. Right? And then in the knowledge economy, we need that. So that is why I wanted to give you an experience of something which can be done in a visual way, like what I've prepared right now. We can do an experience of 15 minutes. We have 15 minutes. This is an experience based on just have a taste of how the yoga nidra would feel. Right now, we're just in a wakeful state. Maybe there is a small moment of meditation, but ideally, yoga nidra has to be done in a lying down position in a very conscious way. You have to execute the relaxation process from a script that has to be made, because otherwise you go asleep. And consciously, progressively, you have to scan the body, because remember, 70 trillion of cells you have to communicate. You have to go slow. We've got only 8 billion people hardly, and we have not been educating them all the time. And think about 70 trillion of cells you have to educate. You have to go a very slow process of executing those relaxation techniques and giving that command. And I want you to know about that. I'm totally healthy. I'm truly happy. And I manifested this. Once you do that, over a period of time, you'll see that the subconscious mind will be totally reprogrammed with your goal. In other words, every cell in your body is like a chip. You'll be reprogramming every chip, just like Intel and other companies does here, right? So you have to upgrade that every time, and that will bring a 2.0 version of ourselves. So once you do it few months, you'll see like your mind is changing, your intelligence is changing, the perspective of life is changing, your relationship is moving up very stronger, powerful. You'll become a spiritual being, which we are, right? So let's watch this one for 15 minutes, and after that I'll take some questions. I wanted to give you an experience of that. Can we just play this one? Please find a suitable place to relax and reflect for another 15 minutes with this guided meditation. You can prefer to lie down on the ground or sit on a chair or anywhere comfortable to practice this mindful relaxation. With your eyes gently open, please enjoy the natural scenery and the melodious music to help you in this journey of relaxation, reflection, and rejuvenation. Just a couple of mindful and deep breaths, settle down. You can practice slow, smooth, long, deep, and conscious breathing to relax your body and mind. When you practice such deep yogic breathing, your body creates more life force or prana, and that keeps our mind really relaxed, calm, and peaceful. Please set an intention for this meditation practice. You can say it in your mind. I'm totally healthy. I'm truly happy. And I'm awakening my inner force within me. Please repeat this intention 3 times in your mind with a positive feeling in your heart. You'll be reminded of this intention again towards the end of this practice. All practices like this on a regular basis can surely be very helpful in reprogramming your subconscious mind towards your set intention or goal of life. Let's continue to practice a few more deep yogic breaths and watch the nature and listen to the music. Allow your body and mind to relax in the little moments. Feel like your body is getting more stronger. As you breathe out through your mouth, feel like all the weakness going out of your body. Please take a couple of minutes like that.
As you breathe in into your nose, feel like your mind is getting more calm and peaceful. And as you breathe out through your mouth, you feel like all the stress and worries are going out from your mind. Please take a couple of breaths. Thank you. As you breathe in into your nose, feel like your heart is getting filled with more love and compassion for yourself and others. And as you breathe out through your mouth, you feel like all the feeling of regret and anger going out from your heart and leaving with you light and peace. Let's take a couple of breaths further. As you breathe in your nose, feel like your life is getting more exciting and joyful. And as you breathe out through your mouth, you feel like all the dullness and doubts are clearing up and making you little more cheerful and happy. Please take a couple of breaths. With this practice of meditation, you're becoming more aware of your true nature. You're reflecting the value of not being too judgmental or opinionated about others and your own self. It's a past experience of you being judgmental about others, but even others' comments about you being more opinionated appear in your mind. Life and time both are wonderful teachers, and every event is a meaningful lesson to learn and move forward. With this relaxed mindset, you're committing yourself to be more present and become more self-aware. If some past experiences of negative emotions, such as anger and fear, appear in your mind, you're able to let go now. You're able to take your decision right here and now to be more calm and peaceful. Please repeat a positive affirmation in your mind now. Just for today, I'm not going to be angry or worried. As you continue to relax with this beautiful nature and this music, your mind is becoming more and more receptive to your positive programming. It is waking up that inner coach, and that inner coach should be able to guide you further in real life when you face more and more challenging situations. As you think of this inner coach, please allow yourself to repeat and reflect few more positive affirmations from Reiki tradition. This should further nurture your mind and heart and guide you in every step and stop of life. Just for today, I will leave with an attitude of gratitude. Just for today, I will not be angry. Just for today, I will not be worried. Just for today, I will do everything honestly, sincerely, and to the best of my ability. Just for today, I will become more respectful to all things and beings around me. Now, you can choose to gently close your eyes and remain in silence for a few minutes to allow these thoughts to take roots in your subconscious mind and become a part of your magnificent personality. Now, as you hear my voice again, slowly and gently, please open your eyes and welcome this beautiful life with welcoming sunrise. May your day or evening become more pleasant and joyful. May your inner coach guide you further towards your health, wealth, and happiness. Anytime you are at a crossroad of taking a decision, all you need to do is ask questions to yourself and just listen to that inner voice. It's always there with you and with your daily practice of yoga, pranayama, and meditation. That voice will become even more stronger and time-tested tips can be received from your inner coach. At this point, you can again repeat your personal goal 3 times in your mind with a feeling of love and gratitude in your heart. I'm truly healthy, I'm truly happy, and I'm awakening the inner coach within. If you're lying down, hold, turn to your right, and come back to sitting down position. And if you're doing this as a meditation, simply become aware of your body, breath, and mind, here and now. So taking time for yourself to practice this mindful relaxation and meditation. Namaste.
He said you don't want to come out from that. Intoxicating like I'm on someone. Right. So that's it. So that's it. That's an example of meditational yoga. But when we talk about the therapeutic aspects of it, particularly people who have a lot of problems in different ways, physical problem, mental problem, emotional issues, or even to find a job or to do an interview. So the mind is the biggest tool. So we can customize this program by interviewing a person, and then we can make a script and record it and play it, and then that person practice for a couple of days, and that helps. I've had a lot of people finding the best job because mind can be used as a wonderful tool. So yoga is a wonderful technology of understanding the mind. That's why I was an animal scientist in India for 10 years, and I was a software engineer in the Valley for 10 years. So I thought it's so fascinating. I did an MBA and I thought like yoga is a good industry, yoga, mindfulness, and mindful meditation is the best thing right now. I think Silicon Valley, funds most in artificial intelligence, virtual reality, and meditation right now. The whole concept that people get a lot of money. So I think we are so fortunate and lucky to have an Indian origin, and then we all have already inherited this power in our mindset. So we just have to reactivate that, awaken the inner coach. The coach is all within. The coach is wanting to be awakened. So with these techniques that we can awaken the coach, each one of us could be a wonderful human being and then make a big difference. And that's what the intent of Rotary is anyway, to connect the world and then make peaceful world, stop all the war, because that's what the biggest challenge is. The robots will come and then industrial revolution 4.0. What will happen if robots do everything? Then what are we going to do? There is so much honor. There is no job for anybody, and there is no requirement of you because everything will be given to you. There is nothing required to money because everything will be given. So I think meditation and yoga will be helpful so that you can nurture the power of the mind and create more love, more happiness, more pleasure, and even mindful hearts. That's the biggest challenge. No matter how much we are improved and civilized, we still haven't come out of the warfare. Every day, trillions of dollars are spent every day to self-defense. Okay? So can there be a possibility that we become truly human being, or rather a spiritual being having a human experience? I think yoga has potential to make it happen. And particularly right now in this era, what's happening is the merger of technology and spirituality happening. It's a great time of transformation that we all are witnessing. And even another 10, 15 years of time to come, when the technology will go up, even the spirituality also can be technology. Like a lot of companies that invest in huge amount of money to harness the thought power. Just like internet, thought nets are being created right now. So great, I think it's a great opportunity for me to, just to share some of the experience that I've been doing with many of my clients in the Silicon Valley right now. If you have to practice something, like please go to my YouTube channel, and then it's Wellness by all means. For a lot of this, practice. I also am a president of two non-profit organizations called, one is Pranashakti USA Foundation, which is a very ancient healing technique, just like Reiki. Pranashakti is a very wonderful foundation. And I do that. So anybody who has got interest to learn about that, we do teachers training program on that. The other thing is 21 SW, social wellness partnership. So we're partnering with individual companies and different nations to promote social wellness. So in order to understand social wellness, you have to think about what social illnesses, particularly the addiction part, anger, stress, emotional disturbance, all of these social wellness, social illness. In order to create a social wellness platform, we also invite a lot of speakers and teachers, like just like this club, which is small and able that we are doing it every Sunday we meet. And this particular project that we are running right now is called YUVA. It's called Youth United for Victory Over Addiction. Addiction doesn't mean just a substance, even the device addiction. Digital addiction is the most biggest thing right now. All the parents are fighting for the children. So we can do that. So any question? Anybody have?
Exactly. I want to thank you for taking us through this journey and trying to awake our inner coaches. It's really wonderful, yeah.
Thank you very much, and I'm really privileged to be a part of this family right now. I'm inside; I cannot go out right now. And I actually wanted to acknowledge Sridevi Gantigaru. Like, I know her, and we've been working together for 15 years at least with Akhil and other children. Also, I used to go to schools and used to make yoga clubs. So those kids are doing good right now. So I think everybody is so good here. Thank you very much. And
Thank you. Thank you.